guys, Denise the Lazy Kitty Mountain Homestead. Well, hope you all are doing well. I thought I would do something a little bit different. I usually do a lot of baking, but we've been really busy today. Willis is out there building a quail flight house, or quail cage, I guess, for those northern bobwhites that I hatched. You can see a little video of them. It's probably been, I guess, 6 weeks ago of them hatching, and now they're big enough to go into a flight house and go outside. So, well, anyways, I thought I would do something fast for dinner, and I'm using my Instapot, and I'm going to do everything in the Instapot. So I thought I would show you if you guys like chicken and dumplings. And this is a real easy recipe. The dumplings are the way my mom always made them. They're a fluffy dumpling. Let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need some chicken thighs. I went ahead and put them in the Instapot for 40 minutes, and then I'll let them do a natural release for another hour. Now you can cook this a couple days ahead of time, because you're going to want to take it away from the bone and kind of shred it a little bit, give it a rough chop. I didn't do that. I just did that this morning. You're going to need celery and onions. I used a Vidalia onion, a small one, because I don't want a real oniony flavor, but I do want a little bit. And then celery, some carrots, and salt and pepper. I always like to put a little parsley on it. I've got some butter, because I'm going to cook everything in the Instapot, like I said, even the dumplings on top. So the first thing, and you're going to need some self-rising flour and an egg and some milk. But I'll have all that in the directions. So what we're going to do first, let's see if I can move that so you can kind of see what I've got over here. There you go. Okay, there's the Instapot. And I've got a colander here and a bowl, because you're going to want to take your chicken out and it should fall apart. I like to use thighs because I think it has a lot of flavor and it gives a really great chicken broth. That's going to be your gravy or your juice, whatever you call it with your chicken and dumplings. It always has a real nice gravy. Now I do use cornstarch for mine. You can use flour if you like. Now if you have some leftover chicken and you don't have any chicken broth, you can always just use a box of chicken broth and make it like that too. And if you don't have an Instapot, you can go ahead and just boil your chicken on the stove. Make sure you keep your juice, because that's your gravy. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just set this apart over here. Right there. And this is my pan that comes right out of the Instapot, and I'm going to go ahead and pour this juice into another bowl. Ouch, that steam is hot. I bet I'm going to need a bigger bowl. I'll just use 2 bowls. I was trying not to have to use so many bowls, but if I would have thought about it, I would have used a bigger bowl. But that's okay. Okay, so you're going to want to move this out of your way. Your chicken broth. This is one of our favorite go-to meals when we're busy. You know, you can just put this in the Instapot and it just does its thing. Then you just have to come back and prepare everything else. But I like to do it right here in the Instapot. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on saute, and that's going to be where I'm going to add my butter. So I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of butter. You can use margarine. Now you have to watch this, because if it does get a little warm, it'll say hot, and you need to just turn it off for a little bit. So we're just going to let that do that. Cook that down. I will add the carrots later because they're already canned. I don't know if you guys saw our carrot video, but we had some really good carrots this year. And I think I got a whole canner full of pints, so it was 7 pints. I'm really happy with that. They smell so good too. But you're just going to need carrots. Sometimes people put peas and potatoes in their chicken and dumplings. I usually just use what I've got here and let the chicken and the gravy and the dumplings kind of be the center of the show. Okay, you can kind of hear it sizzling over here. And like I said, you do kind of want to watch it. I am going to take all of these chicken thighs and put them in a plate or a pie pan like I've got here. And I'm just going to remove all of the skin and the bones and just keep the meat right here on this. Let's see if I can make that cook down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's better. Okay, good. All right. Now this is a little hot. Like I said, you can do this the night before, a couple days before. I like to take a couple forks because I'm going to keep all of the meat right here in this pie pan. And I'm going to take the skin and anything that doesn't look appetizing. You know, sometimes the meat that's closest to the bone doesn't always look yummy. For some people, it doesn't bother them. I usually take it out. I've done that mostly because of my kids. All right, let me just stir this around. I did salt and pepper that. Excuse me. The steam got me. Okay. All right. I went ahead and put that on low, the saute, and you can just do that by pressing the saute, and you'll see where it'll say low, normal, or high. And I just went ahead and did that, and you see if it says hot right here. You can go ahead and just cancel or turn it off, and it'll keep cooking because this is just about done. I don't like mine to be al dente. I like it to be soft. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get all these bones and the skin. And like I said, I like to use thighs because I feel like they have a lot of flavor. More so than the breasts do. Breasts sometimes can be dry. And the, legs are really good too. But I'm not a real chicken leg fan. Willis loves them. So when I fry chicken, I fry a lot of legs for him. I like the wings. You can do this with wings too, but wings are really expensive now. Oh my gosh. I guess because they've gotten so popular. We've got a few chickens that we're going to butcher and put in the freezer. This is not our chicken. This is a chicken I bought at the store, but it was on sale. A lot of times you can get your thighs and your legs or quarters on sale. And if I do that, I usually cut them in half and just put them in the freezer because it's just the two of us right now. Okay. Just kind of going through this with my hands now. It didn't take long to cool off at all. But you want to make sure you get all your bones and all your skin. I know I keep repeating it, but it's true. Now, Willis, he said when he was at a grandmother-in-law, we've been married before, so we have kids and grandkids and everything, but he had a grandmother-in-law, and she used to make chicken and dumplings. I mean, they were old school. I mean, I'm talking a long time ago. In the 90s, I think they passed away. But they used to leave the skin and the bones in it, and they just would make the gravy and put it all in there. And kind of, you know, to us in this day and time, we kind of look down on things like that. But you know, they were a product of the Great Depression, and they were just glad to have a meal, and they didn't waste anything. I hope we never have to get to that point in this life. I tell you, when the pandemic came, 2020, and we went up to Walmart, because you know, it kind of just happened overnight. It was like, boom, we went up to Walmart, and there was no meat, nothing on the shelf. I picked up a 8-pound bag of pinto beans, which we love, and we just had pinto beans for a long time because we have everything that we can, you know, over there in the 2 pantries, and we lived on that, and the chicken and the pork that we had in the freezer. Thank the Lord for that. Okay, guys, here is your chicken. Now I'm just gonna do a rough chop. Let me grab my knife. You don't have to, but it's also kind of a good way to just make sure that you've got everything, all your skin and stuff. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right in there on top of my onions and celery. And if there's any gristles, you want to get rid of that too. One thing I do like about using my hands, I can always feel that bristles. My God-given tools. And while I'm doing this, I want to thank everybody for subscribing. Oh my gosh, we got to 500 subscribers now. Actually, over 500 subscribers. That's really great. Now YouTube sent me a little thing that they are going to keep our videos up instead of being, you know, in with all the thousands and thousands of people. So that's really great. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn this back on the saute, and I'm going to make sure it is on low. It says 30 minutes, but you don't have to have it on there. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. Just your meat, your celery, and your onions. Okay, I'm going to come back with some of this broth. And I'm going to go ahead and I went ahead and grabbed one of my mesh colanders because you want to be able to get some of the pieces and stuff. When you boil chicken, there's always some little pieces and pepper and things like that you want to get out of there. Okay. Mix that around. Now I'm going to come back with my other chicken broth. Now this one is a little bit more. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip it out with a measuring cup into that mesh just to get all the stuff out of it. If there's anything. I salt and peppered my chicken when I put it in there. And I will salt and pepper it again. Okay, so go ahead and put that in here. And I want all this juice to go back in there because we like a lot of gravy. And I usually make pretty big batches of stuff because Willis will take it on the road. Almost lost that one with him. Alright, there we go. All that's in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this cook, simmer on low. Okay, we're wanting this to come to a boil. So I went ahead and I bumped that up to high on the saute. So that'll bring it to a boil, and it will stay hot. But you've got all that liquid in there, so it's not going to burn or anything. You've got it right here, so you're going to be watching it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and got my cornstarch. This is what I use to thicken my gravy with. You can use whatever you like, flour. I like that because I like the texture of the gravy. And I have got about, 3/4 of a cup of cold water. And you want cold water when you're using cornstarch. And I'm going to use a heaping tablespoon. And I'm just going to mix that right in there. This juice, gravy, or whatever you want to call it with your chicken and dumplings doesn't have to be real thick, so it's not like it's a thick gravy. So I'm just mixing that around. And as soon as I get this mixed, I'm going to keep an eye over here on this because I want this to kind of come to a boil. And in the meantime, I'm going to put my dumplings together. That's how easy this is. So I've got my self-rising flour over here. And I'm going to need 2 cups. Okay, that's all you need for that. Set that over there. And I'm going to use 1 egg. Some people don't use eggs in their dumplings. That's clearly up to you, but this is how my mom taught me. And I think she used to use Bisquick because that was kind of a big thing. And I'm going to put a little pepper on here. A little pepper in there. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour milk in here. I really don't have a measure, but I'm going to say I started with probably a 1/2 cup. Now this self-rising flour, it already has everything in it. It's got salt in it, so that's why I didn't add salt. It's got leavening agent in it, which is probably baking powder. Okay, and this is what it's going to look like. So I may probably use a cup of milk to 2 cups of flour and 1 egg. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. So what I'm going to do is just let me put some plastic over it real fast. You can put a lid on it if you want to. I always like to do that because it kind of helps with the rice. And you're just going to set this aside. And it will rise. Okay. Let me just look in here and see. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add this has got a little ripples of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my cornstarch and water. Just going to pour it all in there. And it'll start thickening right away. And as soon as that thickens, I'm going to add a little bit of milk. So it's kind of like a white gravy. You don't have to. I just like that for my chicken and dumplings. It's starting to thicken really nice. I like to serve mine in a bowl. And that probably was a 1/4 cup of milk. It'll just change the color of this a little bit. If you want to add more, you can. Now, there's some people that don't even put carrots and celery and onions in there. They just go ahead and make the gravy and put the chicken in and the dumplings, which is probably even a more old school recipe than what this is. But, you know, it's seasons are changing. It's kind of getting to be fall. And it just kind of feels like comfort food now. So I always make things like this when fall and winter's here. It's always scrumptious. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and let that thicken. And as soon as that thickens, we will be back to add our dumplings. Okay, we're back. You can see it's boiling. See it boiling in there? That's what you want. And that'll thicken up this gravy. And I'm going to go ahead and add my carrots. And you want to make sure your carrots are drained. You don't want any of the juice in there because it'll make your gravy a little bit more soupy than that. Now, if you find you need to add some more cornstarch to make this a little bit thicker, you can. This is a lot of, I think this is like 6 quarts. So what I did was I went ahead and just put on a lid, and that's just a lid from one of my pans. And I'm going to use this when I put my dumplings in there too. So what I'm going to do right now is put a little bit of parsley in here. I don't usually make anything to go with this, and you can make a salad, but since I've got my vegetables in here, I just go ahead and have that as my vegetables. All right, I think that's good enough. So what we're going to do now is we are going to come back with our dumpling mixture. See how it rose? And you're just going to go ahead and take a big spoon. You see how thick it is? And you're just going to drop that right in there gently, right on top of all that gravy. Right, Willis?
Right.
And these will hold together. You don't want it to be a rolling boil, but you do want it to be a nice simmer where you can see the juice or gravy is moving. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that last one in there. I don't like to waste anything here. You see that parsley's kind of come up on top of them, so it makes them pretty. Okay, and then I also like to add just a little bit more, just for a little green. I put our carrots in it, Willis.
All right.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and let this cook. You'll see the dumplings are done. They're going to swell up, and you kind of tap on them, and they'll be solid, and you know they're done. And I'll be back when that is ready. All right, guys, it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, it says hot, but it's not burned. It's on low. I'm just going to go ahead and press cancel, which means off on the Instapot. And look, you just kind of tap on them, and they're solid. They're fluffy inside. They're not going to be hard or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and dish them out on this plate so you can see what it looks like. There is a dumpling. Isn't that nice? And it's nice and fluffy. Let me go ahead and just kind of cut that open for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me do it this way. There you go. There is your fluffy dumpling. Isn't that nice? Okay, now Willis usually has a couple of them, right, babe?
Yeah.
Put that here, and I'm just going to ladle over those dumplings some of this gravy. And like I said, it's not a thick gravy. It's more kind of like a juice. And some of that meat that's in there. And this is a really easy, hearty, pretty much one pot because you're just using the Instapot the whole time meal. Kind of got a little sloppy there, but let me just bring this over here so you can see what I'm talking about. And there's your chicken and dumplings, the way we make it at Lazy K Mountain Homestead. I hope you guys will give this a try and like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. We'll see you soon with another video. Bye.